Hi everyone, you're here sewing with Cody and Pete, and in today's video we are working on the new Bernette Academy. So this machine is a robust machine that's designed to sew through quite a few layers, and it's at an excellent price. But in this short video, I want to show you one of the features on this machine, and that is this little knob here, which is our pressure foot pressure. So let's take a closer look at this pressure foot pressure feature. So here on the Bernette Academy B05, just like many of our other Bernettes and most of our Berninas, we have a pressure foot pressure setting, or adjustment really. So what the pressure foot pressure adjustment is, so first of all, this is our pressure foot. And so we're able to change how much pressure this foot, when in the down position, is placing on our feed dogs and our fabric. So our normal setting for the Bernette Academy is at a 2. That's kind of at its default setting. So a lot of people ask, when should I change my pressure foot pressure? Typically, you can just leave it at the 2. However, our best example that we always give is when we're working with stretchy fabric or when we're working with fabric on the bias. I just got finished putting a project together and every piece was sewn on the bias. So when you're sewing with fabric on the bias, that is when your normal cotton or your normal woven fabric is very, very stretchy. Because of the direction of the weave, that fabric stretches where in normal directions it would not stretch. So when we're working with fabric that's on the bias, or we're working with a knit or a fabric that is naturally stretchy, we want to reduce the amount of pressure this foot is applying to your fabric. Because what it's going to do is if you leave it at normal pressure or too high of a pressure, it's actually going to stretch out your fabric as it's sewing. You don't want that to happen. Because the easiest way to see if that's happening is once your fabric's been sewn, that fabric's going to be it's going to have a little wave to it. It's going to be wavy after it's been stitched. And that means, typically, it means your pressure foot pressure is too high. So what we'll typically do when working with stretchy fabric or fabric on the bias, we're going to reduce the amount of pressure. So on the top of this knob is a minus and a plus sign, and with arrows going to each. So if we turn this knob clockwise, it's going to increase the amount of pressure, which is what we don't want to do with stretchy fabric. We want to reduce the pressure, so we want to go counterclockwise. So we could move this to like a 1.5 or even up to the 1. And you kind of want to play with it because every fabric is different. So we're not actually going to physically see our foot move up, but the amount of pressure that it's going to apply it makes a noticeable difference when working with stretchy fabric. And also in the book, it will explain some of this as well in the manual. Depending on the thickness of your fabric, that is another reason or another time in which you will adjust your pressure foot pressure. Because something thicker, something thinner, you may find that it's not feeding as well. And that's when you can adjust your pressure foot pressure. Also, adding a walking foot will help when you're dealing with multiple layers of fabric or other types of stretchy fabric where the pressure foot pressure isn't helping enough to control that stretch in like a very stretchy knit or whatnot. But that's all I wanted to talk about in this video was our pressure foot pressure on the Bernette Academy. So remember, if you would like the video, give it a thumbs up, comment on the channel if you have any questions. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. I know sometimes it takes a couple of weeks. But subscribe to the channel to see more videos about this Bernette, other Bernettes, and of course our beloved Bernina machines. And as always, happy sewing!